I've been following the excuses, and I insist that it is excuses that the Mandamano people are giving concerning what they want to be done right. And I insist it is excuses because the real reason of this Mandamano is that in 1997, the opposition said that they are not going to recognize the results, and Raila sneaked back to State House, and he was given Kisumu molasses plant. Kisumu molasses plant is painful to me because that is one of the reasons why Biwott killed Ouko. Kisumu molasses plant is what killed Ouko. Sondu Miriu hydroelectric power is what killed Robert Ouko. So when the opposition then sat down and called a press conference and said that they are not going to recognize the results, the Kimeibiwa, Raila sneaked to State House, went and saw Moi, and he was given Kisumu molasses plant through unprocedural ways. It was sold, the plant, you know, there is the land, the nuclear, the land, and the plant. The amount that he bought that through Spectre was equivalent to equipment. So he was supposed to come out with the trailers, take out all the equipment, but he took the land, the building, and even the nuclear. Fast forward to 2007. 2007, let us talk about the neutral arbitrator. The neutral arbitrator, Justice Kriegler. Justice Kriegler said that both sides in the 2007 stole the elections, and it is hard to determine who won the 2007. Look at any situation now. If elections, if people are registered today and elections are held tomorrow, it is impossible to get 100% turnout. A police officer may be posted to offer security, or the police officer may be in the report office. Somebody may be sick in the hospital. Somebody may decide not to attend the hospital, not to attend the election. But what happened in Nyando? Is it Nyando or Nyakach? The turnout was 105% of the registered voters. So what happened is what in Kiswahili we say, pwagu na pwaguzi. Pwagu stole. Pwaguzi was just watching. Then he knew that Pwagu had reached a certain amount. Then Pwaguzi came in with the Tarakaniti. Both sides stole. What happened? He was given Nusumkate. I talked of 97. The last word, the figure is 7. 207, the last one is 7. 2017, he sneaked to, they used to make a lot of noise, the NASA people, the Wetangula and so on. But he sneaked back to see Uhuru, and there was a handshake in March 18. It was all about him. And then there is this saying that if you want to know a person, that is what I was taught in special branch. If you want to see a person's true colors, get him when he is in his extreme. Extreme happiness, extreme tiredness, extreme annoyance, extreme hungry, extreme overfed. If you just change the way you change TV channels quickly, in those you'll know the person in his true colors. Now, when he was sure that he was very close to Uhuru, That is what he did to Wetangula. And Wetangula said that the divorce will be messy. Now, why is he not waiting for 2027? He's 78, so that will be 82. You see, age is not on his side. Now, let us look at the way he's reasoning. Legally, let us go both legal and constitutional. He said, when he was in Islands, that the 4 commissioners should be reinstated for anything to go ahead. Let us look at the 4 commissioners. 3 of them resigned. Where in law does it say that somebody who has resigned goes back? Now, when he goes back, under what terms is he going to complete the term that he had, or is he being employed afresh for 6 years? He's also saying that the selection panel be stopped so that the major political parties sit down and come up with an IPPG. I was with the ECK when IPPG was there. My nephew, the late Justice Chesoni, talked to them and even talked to me on what he told the IPPG commissioners, including Brigadier Ruben Mosonye, who was very much known to me, very close. He called them and told them, you have been appointed by various political parties, but once you join the ECK, you are neutral people. Your loyalty is to the ECK and the Republic of Kenya. If you look at the way Raila has been reasoning, he's reasoning that 3 commissioners said Ruto won, and 4 commissioners said Raila won. So he's the one who is supposed to be the winner of the election. Hiyo ni kutupeleka ufala. The person who wins an election, be it MCA, be it the president, is the person who most of those people who voted for him or her. 6 commissioners may say, we feel this one is the winner. But if the electorate chose the other person, then why do we go to the polling? Why do we go to booth? And in fact, this issue of saying now 4 commissioners whom Raila and Uhuru selected are the ones who are bringing problems. So he's trying to bring people here whom in 2027, should he be healthy, I'm not even talking of alive, should he be healthy, they will just sit down and say Raila has won. Then why should we go to the polling? He has come up again and said, no, let us have ECKs, no, let us have electoral commissions in every one of the 47 counties, just like in the USA. If you look at some of my tapes, I have talked about elections. Raila, in the USA, there is no presidential elections. Each state decides on its own. In any way, each state decides on whichever system they'll use. If they want absenteeism, there are some other states you have to fulfill. So at the end of the time, in fact, in the US, there is no electoral commission in the states. There is an individual called Secretary of State. That is the person who lays down the rules for election. And then he or she comes up and says, in my state, this is how we have voted. So in the US, some people vote by casting votes like in Kenya. Some use punches the way we use the punches here kutengeneza file. Some use electronic voting. It is just for the Secretary of State to come up and say, in my state, this and this has happened. In Kenya, it cannot happen because we have only one state. I have noticed in 1999, when Raila was the co-minister for energy, he was the minister for energy, and also Lotodo was the minister for energy. He went to Paris and said he wanted the French Constitution. The French Constitution says that the president is elected the way Ruto has been elected, and then Raila anatoa fujo vile anatoa, then Ruto appoints Raila as the prime minister. And you see, the president in the French system goes around campaigning, but once he's been elected, he appoints anybody, and the person becomes the executive, the president becomes the ceremonial president. I have also noticed, you see, these elections, these problems we are having, Raila is always reacting to the last elections. But if I have to look at the last 3 elections, 2022, 2017, and 2012, which came under, it appears Raila before elections, he is very sure of winning, that he would want winner takes it all. But after coming close second, he wants proportional representative. Adonija's son, you cannot have a cake and eat it. Decide, do you want a proportional representative or do you want a winner takes it all? Whichever one you decide now, so that when we go to 2027, if it is proportional, well and good. If it is, but this thing of having a belief that you will win the election, and then after you lose, you start insisting that you want proportional, that is why you bring Kenya the way we are. In Kitachoni of the Luhya people, they say, Omlaya Hinanga Musellal. I told the intelligence officers who were seconded to your office when you were the Prime Minister that after we had the 2010 Constitution, you would have made us, what do you call, a good withdrawal, a ceremonial withdrawal. Kenya would have, now even those people who thought that you won the 2007, they are now doubting you. If you would have listened to Patrick Ojwang, who was my subordinate in Mandera, I said that if you would have walked out after the new constitution, Jomo Kenyatta would have been counted as the president of, as the father of independence. Your father Adonija Abednego Jaramogi Oginga Odinga would have been considered the father of multi-party, and you would have been considered the father of the new constitution. What a wasted chance.